little nervous.
You're going to do fine.
Mm-hmm. All righty. It looks like we are now live, I think. Hopefully we'll have a few people hopping into the channel here in a second. This is Nathan Keller. Welcome to Gravity, a place to keep you grounded in the Scriptures. You'll have to forgive me, this is my first time. We have a lot of things going on. I got a lot of windows. We're going to be talking today to a friend of mine and brother in Christ by the name of Jewell. And here's John. Go ahead and say hi, John.
Hi, guys.
Make sure everything's going good. I'll just go ahead and say there is a little bit of lag with some of the things going on between my connection and his, and so please be patient. Hi, Retta. We got Retta Williams has just joined. That's awesome.
Hi, Retta.
And we're going to be talking to John about a few things today. But I do want to say, there's a couple things I do want to say. It's very important that everybody understands the nature of mission work. My wife had a friend who went to China doing missions several years ago, and in China, John, they really control a lot of what is said in email and things like that, and they even look at people's emails to see if what they're saying is okay. And I'm not sure the extent of what you're going through with that, but we are going to be try to be cognizant of that and be careful with some of the things that may be said. So just know that if you have any questions in the chat, we would love to get to them, but we may not do all those things because we have to be careful with some of the things we do say. And this is Facebook Live, and the whole world sees it. And so we do want to be careful with those things. But I want to welcome you, John. It's great to have you today on Gravity. We got Nita Gray. She just said hello. And so there you go.
Hi, Nita.
You got to watch out for Anita. All right. Well, today, John, let's go ahead and talk about a few things. We'll go ahead and start with yourself because this video will be recorded. And there may be some other people who don't know you, who want to know more about you. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, John?
Okay. My name is John Jewell, and I've been married to Samantha for 22 great years now. We've been Christians for just as long. We were married and baptized on the same day 22 years ago, and started our walk together. We've got 3 great boys, Jonah, Andy, and Ben. Jonah's about to turn 17. Andy is going to be turning 14 here pretty soon. And then Ben is 9. Graduated from Lipscomb University, did some master's work over there as well. We did a mission in Brazil for 5 years. And now we've been living in Malawi for almost a year. So, got a blessed life.
Well, I tell you what, and that's... I think it's true to say that not everybody does mission work, John, but it's even more true to say, I think, that not every Christian feels the desire to go out and go to other countries to live and spread the light of Jesus. And that is certainly something we thank you for. And John is actually the mission for our church, Westworth Church of Christ. He and his family, all of them, all the way down to little Ben, they're all our missionaries. And we're so proud of them, and we love you guys so much, and we're so great to have y'all, John.
Well, we feel the same way, and it's a calling just like anything else, the mission field, and we certainly have had it heavy on our heart to do it. So it's not at all a drudgery. In fact, it fuels us, and we feel like it's an honor and a privilege to be here, really. So thanks.
Yeah. Well, and I'll let you know we've got some other people. Retta says she loves y'all, and also Rustin Kirby, my buddy from the church and brother, he's also hopped in. So great to have you, Rustin.
Great.
Well, tell us a little bit, John, about the mission work that's currently going on there. What is it that you guys are doing there in Malawi?
Yeah, so we had really never had any affiliation with the continent of Africa, certainly not Malawi. So we knew when we got here that we were going to need some time to survey the landscape and truly just taste what the need, what the greatest needs were. So we spent the first couple of months visiting different works, different orphanages, different places, vocational schools, that type of thing, and spent a lot of time praying and trying to listen and asking people just point blank what they felt, locals especially, what they felt was needed. I struck it off with we've got an employee that works for Wellspring Ministries, and we just had a good chemistry. He wanted to know more about the Bible. He knew that I had had some experience in teaching it. And so soon after we got here, we just started a Bible study with he and another fellow that works for the NGO. And he went home every night and he told his wife about what he was learning. And she got excited, and he got excited, and they started telling the neighbors out in the village where they live. He actually rides his bike to my house an hour and a half every day to get here. One way, hour and a half. Anyway, they shared it with their village, and people in their village took an interest and wanted us to share it with them. And so we went out there, and our first teaching experience was 6 people. There were 6 of us, and yesterday there was about 75 in attendance. We teach the Bible, we teach English, and Samantha is also teaching a literacy program to all of them. So about 75 people. I would say about half of them are adults. The other half are children from babies all the way up to 19 years old.
Wow. I mean, the demographic, how many of those guys, and I've got a lot of windows here, I'm sorry if I may have missed that, but the demographic of that group that was here yesterday, you said about 70, and you mentioned ages. About how many of them would you say, are under the age of 20?
Under the age of 20, I would say a good 35 to 40 are under the age of 20.
Wow, that's amazing. There was a word or an acronym that you may have used in there, John, that some of our people may not have known. Hi, Sherry. Sherry Yates says hi. It was the acronym NGO, which I think you tagged on to Wellsprings Ministry. Would you tell people what an NGO is and maybe what's that for? How does that make a mission with it different than a mission that doesn't have it?
Sure. It just stands for non-governmental organization, and that is an organization that works in Malawi. They come in under a temporary employment permit, TEP. It gives them license to do business here. It gives them license to do ministry here of different sorts, and more importantly, it gives them credibility, and it also gives them protection. So it's sort of like an umbrella that serves a lot of different purposes. Credibility, the credibility box is a big one. So if I came over as just a missionary, unfortunately, there's so many flavors of mission in the world today that many times it takes you a long time to prove yourself as a mission worthy of being here. Whereas if you have an NGO, there are so many hurdles to jump and so many channels to go through and so many filters to have to test, if you will, to pass, that having the NGO gives us credibility right off the bat. It shows that we're legitimate, and with this NGO, since it's been around for 12 years, it comes with a good reputation. So our standing in the community is good. Our standing with local organizations is good, and we also have the flexibility to do what we're doing in the village, which truthfully is 90% mission.
Yeah. I've heard that it's very difficult to get an NGO, and so I think it's pretty awesome that we happen to have one, and we've gotten that through this Wellspring Ministries and through the work that your predecessors did. John, would you mind mentioning their names? There's 2 people who were there before you that you kind of took their place up there. What was their names?
Yeah, it was Larry and Mandy Renfro.
Yeah, that's right. Larry and Mandy Renfro, and they kind of got you guys interested in Africa. Am I right about that?
We met them, I guess it's been maybe 12 years ago now at a conference, just a missions conference, and hit it off and had a good friendship built there, and really just followed each other on Facebook over the last decade. And when it came time and they felt the call to return home, they had been following some of the things that we were doing through our blog and our own mission efforts back home and in Brazil. And they just contacted us, wrote us a nice, really long email, and said they really believed we would be good for this work. And we followed up on it, decided to do a survey trip, and I think somewhere in there we met up with Westworth, and the rest is history.
Wow, that's amazing. And hey, technology can be good. Facebook can be good.
Yeah. It really can.
I think one of the more humorous pictures I've seen, it's on our bulletin board at the church, and it is the image of a pink bathtub.
Yeah.
Would you explain that?
You know, we really didn't go into the village with any kind of agenda. As I said, we were trying to really find God's will for what this ministry was going to be, and so we just were teaching the Bible. We were just teaching the basic gospel, and there were a couple of times where they requested certain books, and you know, just in teaching the Bible, they kept running across this baptism word and context, and exploring it a little bit more. Some of them said, well, we've never been baptized, and we don't really have a water source. So Snowden, my friend now, said, well, I know where we can buy a bathtub. And he took me down there, and we bought the bathtub, we brought it out to the village, and we filled it up, and I think there was 3 people that day that decided they wanted to get baptized. So we still have the bathtub, but it turns out that not everybody is completely comfortable with the bathtub. Apparently there's some cultural things going on where certain ones feel like it's an immodest, they don't feel comfortable doing something that should be so private in front of so many people. And I guess the motion of getting, sorry about the dog, we have security issues here sometimes. She hasn't barked in the last 5 hours. All of a sudden, she's decided to do that. But anyway, we are going to do away with the bathtub, and apparently we have at least one construction guy in our midst that wants to build a type of baptistry. So, again, this is all this group's initiative. This is not our doing. This is their doing. So it's pretty neat to be a part of. Pretty neat to see the way they are hearing the word and just kind of wanting to put it into practice.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I can imagine a vehicle with a pink bathtub strapped to the top. I think that's a funny image.
It's like Jed Clampett, but worse, I think. And I tell you, there was one day when I hit, the road going out to this village is really bumpy, and I hit a bump, and I felt that something had come loose on top of the truck. And Samantha said, you really should pull over and check it. And where we were was not the safest of places to stop, so I just thought, I just need to get another kilometer or 2 up the road, and then I can stop. Well, I hit the next bump not 500 feet later, and that thing came sliding off the top, down in front of the windshield, across the hood, and just smashed on the ground. It almost chipped it minor, but I tell you, everybody in that village stopped, and 3 guys ran over to help me get it back up there. So,
oh my goodness, that's hilarious.
It was a moment we'll all remember. The kids all screamed. It was quite a day.
Oh man. Well, I want to say also, a friend I graduated just hopped on. What's up, Joseph? Good to see you, man. Joseph Mata. I graduated with him. He's in the chat. And I want to tell everybody, if you guys have questions for John, you can post those, and we will try to get those towards the end. John, I want to kind of shift gears for a moment. There's something that's been very uh, evasive there in the culture, um, and I was hoping you might read for me 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 5 through 10. And if you guys have your Bibles, you can read along. He's going to read this, and then we're going to talk a bit about this. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of like right in the middle of a sentence there, so I'll back up to 4b there. It says, these people that have left sound instruction in the Lord Jesus have an unhealthy interest in controversies and quarrels about words that result in envy, strife, malicious talk, evil suspicions. And then verse 5 says, and constant friction between people of corrupt mind, who have been robbed of the truth and who think that godliness is a means to financial gain. But godliness with contentment is great gain, for we brought nothing into the world and we can take nothing out of it. But if we have food and clothing, we will be content with that. Those who want to get rich fall into temptation and a trap and into many foolish and harmful desires that plunge people into ruin and destruction. For the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil. Some people eager for money have wandered from the faith and pierced themselves with many griefs.
Yeah, so like there in Malawi, I've heard this from a lot of people. I've heard it from you. I've heard it from another friend of mine, Sean Tyler, before, that there in Malawi, people have really been affected by what's called the prosperity gospel. And I just want to point out in that it says some of these people, they're robbed of the truth when they think that godliness is a means to financial gain. And I like what it says in the very next verse, but godliness with contentment is great gain. And so when we think about the people there in Africa who've had so many missions come and speak to them of different flavors and kinds, the one that just to me does not seem to be of the kingdom is that prosperity gospel of saying that faith in God will make you rich or get you out of the slums or wherever you're at. And so I was hoping you might talk a little bit about how the prosperity gospel has affected the reputation, i.e. the relationship with Malawians or Africans in general.
Well, yeah, it's made them very apprehensive and very jaded in a lot of ways. And of course, there's also the reality that for those that bought into it, the promise of prosperity never came. So they're still just as poor and as run down as they ever were, and they followed the instructions that they were told to follow. And in this case, in Malawi, there's a lot of you actually have to pay to be a part of the church, and they're not talking about a tithe; they're talking about your dues. It's almost like a membership. And that also extends to if you don't wear the right clothes to church, they will fine you. So if you come, if you're told this Sunday everybody's supposed to wear white pants and you don't have a pair of white pants, then I think it's 1,000 kwacha, which to us may not seem like much. It's only about $1.50, but when the daily wage is $2, that's almost a full day's wage just because you didn't have the proper clothing. So there's all kinds of abuses that these people have incurred, and it's definitely made them apprehensive, and it's taking a long time to establish trust. When anything scriptural or religious is mentioned.
And I do want to also say that in case you're wondering, there is about a 15-second delay. And I am getting like some red status symbols, which probably means there's a little bit of delay on our end. So I apologize for any of that. Keep in mind, he's across the other side of the world. It's kind of interesting when you hear about the prosperity gospel that we sometimes fall into, because when you think about Jesus, I don't feel, from my perspective, that it was all that prosperous for a person who had everything, the keys to the very world. I mean, he's the prince, he is the son of God. I don't consider it very prosperous to make oneself lowly and to put someone's self on the earth, and then to say, you know what, I could snap you out of existence, but go ahead and harm me, and put some nails in my hands and things like that. It's amazing the amount of love that Christ showed us, and it seems to me that is a misuse of the gospel, and I'm glad you guys are over there kind of working to try to fix that and hopefully really minister and shine light in people's lives. I do want to point to one more scripture, if you guys are listening, on James chapter 4, verse 13, 17. This will be the last one for the day. It says, "Now listen, you who say, today or tomorrow we will go to this city or that city, spend a year there, carry on business, and make money. Why, you don't even know what will happen tomorrow." It says, "What is your life? You're a mist that appears for a little while and then just vanishes. Instead, you ought to say, if it is the Lord's will, we will live and do this or that." Now listen to that. If it's the Lord's will. "As it is, you boast in your arrogant schemes. All such boasting is evil. If anyone then knows the good they ought to do and doesn't do it, it is a sin for them." And so, for me, prosperity gospel is essentially saying, my will be done, rather than actually saying, God's will be done. It is He who does the things in my life, whether it is me putting my head on a stone for a pillow at night or whatever. Some people get rich, some people don't. Rain falls on the wicked and the righteous. And so, to me, I think it's pretty important to remember that. So I want to ask you, what is it that you guys are doing, or can you do, to try to fix that relationship and that reputation?
It's a good question, and it's one that I have struggled with, because the truth is I've never seen or lived in or amongst the level of poverty that we're exposed to every day. And the truth is that Jesus does make some pretty audacious claims. Out of your heart will flow rivers of living water, John 7. To the woman in the well, I'm going to give you a water that will always satisfy. Even like Psalm 1, if you meditate on this law day and night, you're going to be like a tree planted by the rivers of water. Isaiah 58, if you take care of the widow and the orphan and those that are lacking justice and the oppressed, then you are going to be, again, like a tree that is water, or a garden that has a constant water source. So I've been trying to meditate on, is that a word for these people, or is that a word for all of us? And what I've come up with is that, we all have longings as human beings, but there are some crucial longings that we all face. And two in particular. One is that we all long to be loved by an infinite someone unconditionally, meaning we don't have to give anything back. He loves us because, or in spite of, not because of. In spite of who we are, not because of who we are. And I think that's a longing that is in the heart of every human being. I think the second thing is that we all are longing to put our hands to something that has some sort of eternal impact. And so when we wake up in the morning, we want to feel like we're making some sort of difference eternally. So if we can get those two things met, then I think that's what Jesus is talking about when he's talking about satisfying us. He offers the answer to both of those crucial longings that as human beings we all have. And I'm trying to, so rather than preaching, you follow Jesus and your life is going to get better, how about He's going to enter into life with you, so that whatever the circumstances you're passing through, He's going to be with you through it. And if He's with you, then we have nothing to fear. I see a lot of fear in the eyes of the people that we meet every day, and rightly so. They've faced famine, they face death on a regular basis. Malaria is rampant here. Their children die frequently, and so they're very afraid. But if we can somehow show them that number one, Jesus has made this audacious claim not just for me, but for you as well. and he will pass through that water with you. And also, you don't have to be a victim. You can actually put your hands to the process of helping your neighbor who's passing through those same turbulent waters. Then maybe the fear will be gone and Jesus will take its place. And if that's just a part of our mission, then I think we'll be successful.
Wow. Yeah. Those who are weary come to me, and I will give you rest. Yeah. It's kind of interesting is that concept of Jesus taking on a lot of that load implies with it not necessarily that he takes it all, but that he carries the heavier portion. And I think that's a wonderful way to do that is through a message that we often forget, John. It is the grace of God. And I think you got that right on. We don't have any questions yet that anybody's posted. If you guys do have any questions, let us know. I do want to go ahead and point. I do want to go ahead and point over to a couple of hyperlinks and things like that. If anybody is wondering, there is a web page, westworthcoc.org /Malawi mission. At that, if you want to find out more about what's going on, the current state of Malawi, you can go there and look. And then also, you can give if you see fit to do that. But I also want to point you to that second one. It says BrazilianJewels.blogspot.com. And I want to show you guys. Let me go ahead and pull this up. Possibly ahead. This is new tech here. Let me see here. New tech for me. It's Brazilian Jewels. This is a blog that his wife does. She takes outstanding pictures, and you'll see over there on the side it says enter your email address. That's how you subscribe, and they'll kind of give you. Is it kind of a weekly update, John?
On average, I would say it's once every week, 10 days. She'll put out a different blog, but it's not just to have, to take up space. I think as we experience things, Samantha is documenting them. So the goal is to keep everybody not only in the loop, but kind of as this evolves, to have them have buy-in and see how we're getting to where we're getting, because we're kind of making it up as we go with the Spirit's guidance.
Okay.
This is not something that was laid out for us with a nice, clear agenda. We do believe that a school needs to be built in this village. Education is sorely lacking here. I've got at least one prayer request, and this comes from an article that I just read by CNN. People are taking antibiotics here at an alarming rate. And unfortunately, without education, what they do is they take penicillin if they have an earache, or if they have a sore throat, or if they have a hangnail. And I'm not being facetious there.
Wow.
And what's happening is the bacteria are building up a resistance. As soon as they start feeling better, which is usually the case after 2 or 3 days, they stop taking the antibiotic, which, as we know, it's the worst thing you can do. So we've got an epidemic of medical crisis here that's so unnecessary, and unfortunately it endangers everyone. It's not just the Malawians that are in danger. The bacteria they call it a superbug, and I think you can Google that, CNN superbug in Malawi, and you can read the article for yourself. But it's very alarming.
Well, and see, I when I was taking biochemistry in college, one of the things we talked about was the overprescribing of antibiotics, and I remember then my professor telling me, "Oh yeah, we're going to create a superbug." And here in the United States, in hospitals and stuff, this is one of the reasons you have things like MRSA, is because of the way the bug or the bacteria creates a resistance. And so it's possible to get a really bad bug here in the United States where you end up having to go to the hospital and they got to put you on a super antibiotic that somebody created just a couple of years ago, and they're always trying to recreate these, and those are super expensive, and they try to keep those in the hospital situation so they don't have the situation you're talking about with that new, let's say, silver bullet antibiotic. And so that's not even something that you guys probably have a lot of access to there. So yeah, we need to keep you guys in prayer. That's tough, especially when you have a a world where the medical training and just to the layperson, the medical training of how to wash your hands or how to take antibiotics to finish out the prescription. Those are just things that we inherently know here in the United States that they're, I don't know, years behind there in some cases.
Yeah.
I do also want to show everybody, John, this right here is the website right there. There you see John, and I believe the person baptized that you're baptizing in that picture. You can't see it, but I think that might be Snowden. I'm not sure. But if you go down, you'll see a picture of them, and then also there's the giving. It also has mail donations there if you're interested. I do want everybody to understand that that what we're doing today, this Facebook Live thing, is just kind of, this is our first time. And hey, we got some other people that just hopped in. We got David Martin. David Martin's a good friend of ours in our church and a good friend of David Williams. He helps out with a lot of work for Lifeline Chaplaincy, and he does a lot of good work for them. David, it's great to have you. We will be, let me change that. You guys are probably getting a weird feed. Hold on. We're having a little bit of a lag. Hold on. Oh, I know what it is. I know what it is. Hold on. Hopefully I know what it is. Well, I'm not sure what it is. Hey guys, this is just new stuff. Let me go ahead and fade this over. But we've got John Jewell, and I want to thank everybody for coming out today. I want to see if I can get you back in there to say bye, John. No, it's not going to do it. It's doing something funky. I think everybody can still hear you. Say hi, John.
Hello.
Yes, they can still get you, but for some reason it's having some issues. I want to try one more thing. That may have been it. Maybe I got it. Either way, we're so thankful that everybody came out today. And this video will be on Facebook Live, and it's gonna, here in a second, it'll all be on there permanently if you guys want to take a look at it and share it with your friends. I'm so thankful that everybody is here with us today, and I just want to say thank you so much for coming, and God bless. John, is there anything that you want to leave everybody with?
Yeah, I think it's really important for them to know. We get to see how the effects of their support are helping people, and we see it every day. And I'll just share with you, just yesterday, for example, I had a lady that came with twins. Her twins are 30 days old. 31 days ago, her husband was murdered, in not far from the village where she lives. There was a man that came, he came a week or so ago. He's got AIDS, and he's got a wound on his leg that needs to be tended to, and he doesn't have the means to even get bandages for his leg. We were able to help them. We served about 12 orphans yesterday that came to our meeting, and they wouldn't have had food yesterday unless we came together and pulled our resources together. So I think people just need to know that, and we're searching for ways to make this a regular thing where they can see that their donation, their sacrifice for this mission is not just creating more rhetoric in a foreign country. It is actually helping people that are hurting and oppressed and hungry and poor and naked. I mean, it is the essence of the front line of ministry. And so I'm just so thankful, and I'm so privileged to get to, like I said, be the one that delivers that. But we couldn't do it without your prayers and without your financial support. So I want to thank you all.
Yeah, and we got to say, I have to say that Westworth Church of Christ is just so happy we have you, and we love you guys, and we're so happy for the work that you guys are doing. It's obvious that the Spirit is is working there right now. And we know that it's not always easy, and you're going to have some tough days. And we're hoping that God will bless you with patience and endurance and the ability to see the wonderful uh, light at the end of that tunnel, and His wonderful will that He has that essentially brings out whatever we do. He makes it better. You know what I mean? We try
Yeah.
to do things, and when we try to do things for us, we might do okay. But whenever God takes what we do and He does it for Him, oh man, it's out of the ballpark every time. And so, yeah. But if anybody wants to know, um, half of this recording will be on YouTube. I accidentally pushed start recording at the wrong time, but unless I'm able to go back on Facebook Live and pull it out, which it does have that capability. So it depends on the quality. So, but thank you guys for coming. You guys have a wonderful day. We love every single one of y'all. Thank you, David, Martin, Joseph. John, Samantha, your wife joined. Thank you, Sherry. Thank you, Rustin, everybody, and spread the news about the mission. It's good to be helping others and helping orphans and widows and things like that. We love for this to be an ongoing thing. So, all right, guys, thank y'all so much. Love you. I'm gonna go ahead and end the live video. Bye bye.
Bye.